natural segue for both of us here.
Yeah.
I think apologies are due. Let me set the table just in case this is your first time tuning in. Okay, so last week Power Rankings came out. We put Brampton at the bottom, right at number 10, right? Yeah. Our power ranking picture was in the locker room pregame. You just saw Coach use it in his pregame speech.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brampton.
No. You're twisting this. Shout out to us.
All right.
We motivated
You're welcome.
them.
Honestly, big shout out. You know,
Absolutely.
You came out,
Yeah.
you balled out, right? Bet Victor even had Niagara as the favorite in that game.
Yeah.
And as a result, we've both bumped up Brampton on the outside looking in, but we still got to talk about our top 5 here.
I agree with you. Look, just on Brampton's note, there's just a lot of talent. We just didn't know about it. And now that we know, we're willing to incorporate it and add our jerseys into it. So, yeah, big honorable mention to Brampton. Hopefully, they'll crack into the top 5. We'll see what happens today versus Ottawa. Okay, number 5.
Number 5, Edmonton. I know you didn't have them as high as me, but they came out, they showed up. We talked about Creaky earlier in the game. For me, they're number 5.
I mean, going into Calgary, winning in that environment, that's huge. I thought the continuity that you mentioned was a big part of it. I agree with you. Edmonton, number 5.
And the first and only team to win on the road this opening week so far.
Yeah.
So shout out to Edmonton and Jordan Baker for getting that team ready. Number 4.
So I have Scarborough here. And I know they lost against Winnipeg, but they did look good. We're still waiting on Cat and seeing how that comes about. Like, I think this team will eventually be up there, and I'm not going to just discredit them because they lost their first game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I have Niagara 4. You've completely taken them out of 5. So you overreacted a bit, I think.
You will notice that I am an overreactor and a bandwagoner for a lot of this stuff. So I want to see more from Niagara, and I also just want to see that continuity together, that group together.
I see what you're doing, though. You knock them out. You got to cover them this week.
Yes.
And then you're going to take credit for when they get themselves back
Absolutely.
in the top 5.
I'll be wearing a Niagara jersey at some point, too. Don't worry. I got you.
Number 3, I have Sask. You have a much higher than that. But, you know, a great case, you know, a team that started out 2-0, overcoming that massive deficit, franchise best for them.
Yeah.
Why do you have them number 1?
So I have Sask number 1, and it's just because 2-0, beating Winnipeg, coming back on that Montreal game. That was a really, really incredible game. I think when a team comes back like that, you show what you're made of in a lot of ways, and I think that group galvanized together. They have a great core. We talked about it earlier with Harkless and, you know, Kalu and all the different guys. My guy, Basile, you know, like I really do think that they have what it takes to potentially be one of the best teams in the league this year, and they're coached really, really well too. So they're number 1 for me. I got Vancouver number 2, and Winnipeg number 3. Where did you have Vancouver?
I don't have them at the top. I'm not even going to tell you what number. It was a great victory for me, but I still need to see a little bit more. But shout out to Kobe McEwen, right? I was not familiar with the game. I shouldn't say that, though, because I did cover him. But he came off the bench. He did start last year, but I was really, really impressed. And there's definitely room for them to move up in my power ranking. Just still on the outside looking in.
I think Vancouver was the most impressive win for me this year, so far at least, just in terms of like how defiant of a win it was, you know, and I think that's why I put them at number 2. Again, it's early, folks. We don't know. I'm putting this out there. This is Sunday morning. Things could change, okay? But yeah, I'm comfortable with my list right now.
Yeah. For me, Winnipeg number 1. You know, most impressive win this season. Tough first game for them. But I think the pieces are really starting to come in with Byron, right? And Darius Day's starting to get familiar with his teams and having Teddy as a teammate as well. That's quite a bit of an adjustment, right?